pour salt in an open wound. Let's talk about your fucking vacation. There's one for you, Donnie.
Okay. Before we talk about my vacation, let's talk about your fucking pool.
What are you trying to say, bro?
I'm just saying.
Oh, I mean, that's different though. Like I'm still, you can still get a hold of me. I'm still able to take care of shit. Like, oh, Shiner, guess what? We're busier than we ever have been. I'm on the 14 days.
Yeah. Well, you also do know that had I not scheduled and paid for this vacation back then, knowing how busy we are today, never. No.
This will be one of those stories people tell. It'll be like, hey, remember that time that Titty went on vacation and they came back and Shiner was a horrible alcoholic?
Or no, it'll be this. Remember when Titty went on vacation and Food Network contacted Shiner and hired Shiner and pitched him this plot of doing a show about maybe something you'd go eat if you got high? Yeah, that'd be
some shit.
Yeah, I'd be like, ooh, thanks, vacation. Right straight in the ass.
Yep. No reach around, no lube.
No. I will be in touch. I just won't be in touch all the time. I'm going to go down to Honduras and lay on the beaches with some rogue bitches and have myself a good... No, wait, I can't do that. I guess I'll go to Honduras and lay on the beach and keep to myself.
Yeah. It'd be cool if you got a lot of cool video footage and some pictures from down there. And we could do a little 2 minutes with Titty on his vacation.
Oh,
video.
yeah. Get tons of B-roll. It's like, where'd you get that B-roll footage? Someplace you've known.
Yeah. Secret. Secret.
Yeah, going to Honduras and going to Belize and doing the obligatory Cozumel, because anymore, if you take Carnival and you're going to hell, you're going to have to stop at Cozumel.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, you stop at freaking Cozumel. We're going to go to the Eastern Mediterranean and go eat Greek food, all that mess. Well, yeah, but first they're going to Cozumel. Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that because I don't do cruises.
I know, man, and you should. Even our good friend Raven, she is deathly afraid of boats, and she sees how much fun that Shandy and I have on our vacations. Now she's like, I think I want to do it. I think I want to go. I don't
see. I can tell you guys are having fun, but I've never seen anything and been like, man, I wish I was doing that. Nothing. And it just doesn't appeal to me.
Not even Kobe beef appeals to you. That's not Kobe. Sorry for all you purists. I just flipped off Donnie. Sorry for all your purists, but it's Wagyu. Wagyu.
I mean, if I got to get on a cruise ship to have it, nah, I can do it without. It's just nothing about it appeals to me at all. It just, I don't know.
For the guy on video who says, get this in your life.
No, yeah. I mean, that's just not something I want to get in my life. My life is fine without it.
My life was damn good without cruise ships, and it remains to be damn good.
I bet I could buy like an out-of-state tag and license and go hunt elk, somewhere for what you're paying for that cruise.
Well, that's true. But the
elk, I mean, if I got that choice in front of me, I'm heading to the mountains.
The elk's not going to place a 22-ounce ribeye in, but I'll be getting that. That elk ain't going to cook you steak and eggs when your steak is a filet mignon, but I'll be getting that.
I'd much rather eat elk than filet mignon.
And I'm not going to get conked in the head with a stray arrow because they can't reach that far. Not like
I don't know, man. You're just never. I don't think this is going to be anything you talk me into. Like that's nothing about it. I'm like, yeah, man, I need to have some of that in my life.
It's not like a missile, that bolt from crossbow. I mean, it's not like a missile that hit the Pentagon. Now, of course, I'm not saying that conspiracy theory or anything like that, but
I wondered if we were going to get into this. Are we going to get into some 9/11?
Yeah, we will as soon as you quit dropping off.
Oh, man.
There he is back.
What's going on, Donnie?
I don't know, but Don better fix it.
Quick.
Like a bug on my windshield. Splat, splat, splat.
All right.
And there's a lot of other conspiracy theories out there about 9/11. Now, I know a lot of them have been debunked. I'm not sure how much I buy the debunked thing. But, there's one that just really comes to mind for me that's just really hard to get over, and that's the Pentagon.
Yeah, there's a lot. I have a lot of questions about that.
Other than the White House, the most protected building in the United States, but not one camera caught that plane flying into the building. And eyewitnesses that were on the ground was like, that was no plane. There's no way that was a plane. That came in way too fast and way too hot and way too low to be a plane.
Okay. I fully believe that was not a plane. But so let's say it was a missile. Now, who would you think would fire a missile? You think a U.S. plane fired that missile?
Oh, that could have probably been a Tomahawk from a ship. Well,
that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right.
Man, I tell you what, over in the Gulf, you could hear those things screaming over your head about 200 feet, wake you up out of a dead sleep. Fast moving, man.
Well, man, I don't know. There's a lot. There's still, and you know what? We'll never know the entire truth. Ever, and we probably don't want to. I mean,
although we are well into 50 years past Kennedy's assassination, actually, we're 60 years in 2023, so we're 56 years into it. And you would think after 50 years they'd release some of that stuff, but they have not.
They release a lot of stuff that, I mean, a little bit of it trickles out here and there. I read a book a few years ago. The thing was like 1,200 pages, and it was about who assassinated Kennedy. When that one went to print, they were actually putting together a new version, a new volume of a new edition of that book. And they said that the new book was going to actually name the person that apparently was the trigger man. I don't know. I haven't researched it since I quit reading that book, and that's been, 7 or 8 years ago. But yeah, that whole story, man, I read that book through and through, and that whole thing's crazy. I mean, there's so much. I mean, it's not even a theory. I mean, there was so much shady stuff going on in that whole ordeal.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for the Zapruder film, that Henry Zapruder who caught that 8mm, I think it was 8. Anyways, he caught that whole thing, and then an audio engineer started dissecting it, and he was able to pinpoint through sound wave refractions off of stuff where shots were potentially coming from in 2 separate positions. So I don't know, man. And there was also one out there. There was a little record that came. Remember way back in the day, you could buy like a magazine or something like that, and in the center of it, there'd be this little flexible floppy 45.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This came in something like that. And what it was a recording of the motorcycle cop who was right down there, who accidentally had his mic keyed the entire time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they were able to use that to dissect certain things. Not everything is what it is. I don't think 9/11 is the biggest conspiracy that a lot of conspiracy theorists think. Now, having said that, I think the moon landing was a total fart.
Yeah, man, we've had a couple of people tell us we need to do an entire episode on conspiracy theories, and we really need to do that. But yeah, you're right, man, because I used to think, oh, that's crazy. Of course we landed on the moon. But the more you get to looking into things, and supposedly Stanley Kubrick admitted to somebody that he filmed all of that.
Yeah. And of course, he's not stand up to that, nor would anybody probably believe. It's too hard for me to believe. Way too hard for me to believe it, because when that lunar lander lands on the moon with the thrust that's coming out of those engines, but yet it's not flailing the least bit of dust up. Are you kidding me?
When you brought that up, when we talked about this previously, it blew my mind because I had never thought about that. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, Tizzy's right. Also,
and I know. Here's the other thing about that one fact right there. When there's a piece of video where he's stepping down the ladder to step onto the moon, or one of them is, and in that video you see dust flying past, over his boots as he gets closer to the surface of the moon. Now, that just kind of proves your point. Okay, my deal is, why is that dust blowing? There's no wind on the moon.
Nope, there's not.
That doesn't make any sense. I have some questions.
Well, or this. Nobody seems to or everybody seems to forget about the freaking photographer. Who's the videographer who caught all that shit on film?
I know.
Because let me tell you something. Your one small step and one large step is totally debunked at that point. Even if that camera is static and it's on a tripod, somebody had to walk the fuck out there and set that bitch up.
Yeah, there's some inconsistencies in it, man.
Total inconsistent. But that's not
what people are like. I mean, the only argument against that is, well, yeah, it happened. How do you know it happened? How can you prove it? Well, because NASA said it did. Not because the government's never lied to us. I mean,
okay. Well, here's something else. The moon is 1/5 the gravity of Earth.
Exactly.
But that damn flag with no wind on the surface of the moon,
standing straight out,
stuck out there like a penis on Viagra.
And they didn't have Photoshop back then, so
nope. All they had was Stanley Kubrick.
Apparently, that's the story, man. Supposedly, he told a girl that was writing his biography that he admitted before he died.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think the moon's a bunch of bullshit. However, 9/11, not so sure. Steel thermodynamics. Okay, steel thermodynamics at 1100 degrees. 1100 degrees. Steel
Fahrenheit.
Steel, yeah, Fahrenheit. Steel has 50% of its strength. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
At 1800 degrees, it only has 10. Now, kerosene, jet fuel, when atomized, can heat up to close to 1500 degrees. So we're past that 1100 degree point. That gives you 50% strength. You know, now you're probably into the 25, 30. If you have a building that tall, eventually something's going to give. Now, there's lots of people that says, well, you can see the explosions going off as the building's coming down. Well, okay, the building is coming down. But what happens is as each successive floor pancakes on top of another, that's like a hammer driving a hammer all the way down to the bottom of the building. So now you're getting concrete column blowouts and that kind of stuff because of that hammering act. The building is hammering it into submission. The lobby, they said the lobby had fire and, blew glass out everywhere. Well, when the plane hit, in the center section of the building by the elevators, there's just this empty chasm that goes all the way down to the bottom. And if you've got atomized fuel, an oxygen source that's almost depleted, and a new oxygen source that it has found, i.e. that shaft, that fire is going to crawl like a rabid snake all the way down. Oxygen, keeping itself on fire. When it does that, it comes down with such force as far as kind of a wind force that it can blow out windows. And when it blows out windows, that escape outside. And there was a lot of fire damage to the buildings fell. So there's that. I read that and I thought, okay, I'm okay with that. I can live with that excuse. But let me tell you something. That the Pentagon thing, I don't know, man. That one is just real hard.
That's real suspicious, man. That one's very suspicious.
Yeah, very hard. There was
a plane hit the building, but there's no evidence of the plane. I mean, like nobody.
No, there's no
picture
marks
of it
where the wings went in.
Yeah,
and the hole that goes into the building, I mean, is roughly the size of a Volkswagen. 737 is a whole lot bigger than
Yeah, it's a little suspicious.
Now, a lot of people say the government had notice of this happening on this date back in April of 2001. That I do believe.
I do too. Yeah.
That I do believe.
There's actually a movie on Netflix about that. I haven't watched it. I keep meaning to, but yeah, at least I think it's still on.
Yeah. I don't know about the plane that went down in Pennsylvania. It turned back. What it was going to do or what it was going to hit, I really don't know. If it was an aircraft that actually went the Pentagon, I don't know. But there were some ballsy passengers that knew they were probably going to die anyways, and if they're going to die, by God, we're going to die our own way. We're not going to die
God
into a
rest their
building.
souls, man.
Yeah.
That was incredible.